Throughout our lives, there are times when a person gets stuck in our minds and continuously runs through our thoughts. This situation is often disturbing, leaving us puzzled and confused. What's even worse is that it can get on our nerves and further flow into our personal life, emotional health, and even our professional life. An example would be not being able to focus on work or school because of them. They also affect the sleep schedule, diminishing our quality of life. Therefore, discovering why we think this way and coming up with coping mechanisms are very crucial for our emotional and mental health. So now the big question is, why does a person always come to our mind? Why do we always think so much about someone? Well, don't worry, because in this video, we're going to take a deeper look into the probable reasons as to why we cannot seem to get someone off our minds. Also, we will explore various theories in psychology, from attachment styles to emotional links, and from subconscious factors to habits of thinking. Therefore, our goal is to help you discover the real causes of thinking and provide practical solutions on how to manage these thoughts. So now, if you're ready, let's get down to business and learn about 4 psychological reasons why someone might be on our minds all the time. Number 1, your attachment style in relationships. Attachment styles are based on our childhood experiences and greatly influence how we relate to others as adults. In fact, these attachment styles have a big influence on our behavior in relationships and on our tendency to keep thinking about someone. For example, individuals with a secure attachment style are likely to be in a healthy, mutually cooperative, and stable relationship. This results from the fact that he or she received gentle, loving, and stable care from birth. Now, on the other hand, those individuals who experienced inconsistency in caregiver behavior develop an anxiety attachment style, characterized by obsessive search for approval and reassurance. Yes, people with this attachment style often develop an overly dependent stance in relationships and a fear of abandonment as adults. Therefore, if you are unable to stop thinking about someone, it's possible that your anxious attachment style might be contributing to those obsessive thoughts. Number 2, a very strong emotional rapport. When there is a strong emotional rapport with someone, thoughts of that person are likely to cross your mind frequently, whether that be from a relationship, deep friendship, or family bond. Yes, emotional connections leave very strong neurological imprints on our brains, and frequently these imprints can lead to persistent thoughts about that person. Additionally, such connections also elevate the secretion of neurotransmitters like oxytocin and dopamine, thus significantly impacting our mood. As a result, the presence or absence of that person can dramatically influence our emotional state, making it quite natural to think about them constantly. Number 3, it could be your subconscious association. One reason we might have persistent thoughts about someone is that they hold a significant role or meaning in our subconscious mind. Having said that, this significance can stem from various factors. For example, this person may remind you of a feeling or an experience of your childhood, such as the warmth and safety we felt with a family member or the excitement and joy of a particular event. Well, these memories can be deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind. And when someone in our present life triggers these memories, it can cause us to think about them frequently. Hence, this connection between past experiences and present relationships can create a powerful and persistent mental association with that person, making us to constantly think about them. Number 4, your mental habits. Our mental habits define our thought process, and the mere act of continually thinking about someone can become a form of mental habit. This habit may well be linked to a type of routine or particular line of thought. For example, if you always find yourself thinking about the same individual whenever you have free time or are in a specific situation, then this would have likely evolved into a mental habit. In fact, through neuroplasticity, the brain's neural pathways strengthen as mental habits develop. Thus, the more often that a pattern of thought is repeated, the easier it becomes for that pattern to become automatic. Therefore, focusing on a particular person can turn into a reflexive thought process over time, making you think about them all the time. So there you have it. Next time you find yourself constantly thinking about someone, consider that it might be due to your attachment styles, emotional connections, subconscious associations, or even your thinking habits. I trust finding these ways can truly empower you to gain greater control over your thoughts.